Affirmations have changed my life. Girl, I'm just kidding. I did. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Boss Girlified. I'm Chit. We're not just gonna have a regular makeup tutorial though. We are going to talk about affirmations. A lot of you guys have been asking for a makeup tutorial. I've done a couple on like my TikTok accounts. You guys wanted to see my makeup tutorial on this account, so here we go. Obviously, we're gonna start off with a primer. I like to use this e.l.f. putty primer just as a little bit of like moisturizer, even though I already moisturized and did my whole skincare routine. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of primer. I have always been someone who is skeptical of this whole affirmation thing, even just like new age spirituality, I guess if you want to call it. I know like the concept of affirmations is not at all like a new concept, and if anything, it goes into a lot of religions. I am Muslim, as a lot of you guys know. I'm gonna use this e.l.f. Power Grip primer. Poor girl. I have always been someone who's very skeptical of this whole affirmation thing, right? Because mostly it's just kind of like I don't want to give myself false hope, right? Like I don't want to give myself all these promises, tell myself that the universe is giving me this, giving me that, and then have bad things happen to me, and then, you know, it negatively impact how I'm feeling about myself. But I think after actually starting to do affirmations and really starting to apply what would really help me personally, I started to notice what the actual goal of affirmations is. I'm gonna use my e.l.f. brow lift. I should have probably shaped up my brows a little bit, but it is what it is. So that was my mindset before I started applying affirmations, and in a way that would help me personally. So what I started doing was journaling, right? So I have always been a journaler, okay? For my whole life, I have always loved journaling, but I did it sporadically and I didn't really take it seriously. Now, when I started taking it seriously, that's when I started to notice, I think the girlies are onto something when it comes to these affirmation things, right? I'm just gonna be using my Juvia's Place palette to fill in my brows, and I'm gonna be using the color Pride. This palette is messy girl, but here we go. This is new for me, guys. This is my first ever like makeup tutorial type of video, so hopefully you guys enjoy it, and let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys want me to do more videos like this? Because I will. It's really fun. It's like a girly chit chat. Girl, you better be doing your makeup with me. But anyways, I've always really been into journaling, but I started to take it more seriously every day. Sorry, I'm like really trying. Like, I really applaud the girlies for being able to do their makeup while talking, because it's a skill. It's a skill, girl. So leave a thumbs up for this skillness right here. When I started journaling every day and really looking introspectively, I started to realize something. And what I started to realize is that I'm not necessarily in the point in my life that I want to be at. And I started wondering what that was and why exactly that was. So I started gathering inspiration from social media, places like TikTok. And I started to realize, you know what? I definitely want more for myself out of this life. And I've always been the type of person to kind of be like, oh no, like, because of my pride, I'm like, nah, like, I don't really want those things. Designer, psh, I don't want designer. Like, it's just a brand, like, it's overpriced clothing, which is true to some extent. But the reality is I do want the finer things in life. So I'm like starting to realize a lot of things that I would not have realized if I didn't really start looking introspectively and really journaling and wondering what it is that I need out of life and what it is that I really want to achieve and why I'm not at that point in my life yet. I'm gonna like try to explain it as best as I can, but honestly, the best makeup tip I can give you is to just do makeup that fits your face. Even my current makeup routine is probably gonna change in like a week. So just do whatever fits for your face and just practice. Practice makes perfect. Even I've noticed, like, when I stop doing my makeup for a while, or like I just haven't like been regularly doing my makeup, I kind of like forget how to do my makeup. And I'm going to use the Clinique Even Better All Over Concealer for my underbrow, and then for my upper brow I'm going to use the CC Nude Glow SPF 40 Sunscreen Color Correcting Medium Coverage Skin Tint. Whew, that's a mouthful. I'm definitely one of those people who's like, nah, like, I don't want these things, but I really do. So, you know, journaling helped me realize what these things are that I want, why I haven't gotten there yet. So, after realizing this, I started, you know, getting inspiration from places like TikTok, Pinterest especially. Pinterest is my dang go-to, okay? I love Pinterest. And I slowly started to decide that I do truly want to live the life that I've always wanted to live, because life is way too short not to. So I started to realize, okay, there are certain habits that I need to ingrain into my life in order to get this life that I want. That's where affirmations come in. I used to think like affirmations were these magical things that people supposedly listen to like completely change their life overnight. Like, kind of like the subliminal thing. I thought it was just one of those things that you like listen to overnight and like you literally become that person in the morning. And that's why like people don't believe in it, because I was like, okay, obviously that's not true, you know? Like, there's no way you can listen to something and like change overnight. And I like to like connect, you know, my two brows just to make sure that they're lined up. I started implementing affirmations because I started to realize that no, it's not necessarily about listening to this magical potion that just changes your life overnight. It's more so about ingraining certain beliefs and ideas into your brain until it starts to believe it, because your brain truly, as someone studying psychology, does not know fake from real. It only knows what you tell it. So if you tell it certain things, it's going to believe those things. And what difference would that be with something like affirmations? Videos designed to tell your brain certain things about yourself until they become reality. That's when I was like, okay, maybe I should try out these affirmation things. I think this realization kind of came from me actually studying the science behind positive psychology. Sometimes I use a beauty blender, but I think I'm just going to use that for my concealer, and I'm just going to use my beauty blender to blend in the rest of the CC cream. It's a little bit darker than my complexion, but it's fine, especially for the summer. And I like to use something a little bit darker because my neck is a little bit darker, so yeah. And it's light, like it's very light coverage, so as you can see, it's a little bit darker, but not too much darker. Actually, it's kind of like perfect now that I'm in my summer shade. But yes, anyways, so once I started to understand the logic of affirmations and how they could work, I was like, you know what, let me try this out. Let me try this out for at least a week and see how I feel. When I tell you guys, within the first week of me implementing these affirmations, they changed the way I acted. And I think that's the thing that I was kind of struggling to understand about this whole affirmation thing, right? And this is what I mean by that. So I would listen to affirmations like, I would just search up feminine affirmations, right? And a lot of these feminine affirmations have affirmations within them like, I love taking care of myself. I radiate the room. I smell amazing. I this, that, and the third. And, you know, I was just listening to these, you know, writing them down here and there. You know, instead of listening to music, I started changing to listening to those type of affirmations and stuff like that. And immediately I noticed a difference. Now think about even music. Music is a really, really good example. When you listen to a sad song, what happens? You get sad. When you listen to a happy song, what happens? You get happy. And even if it's very subtly, it always happens because humans naturally, we absorb everything, right? So literally within the first day, I think the first day that I started listening to affirmations, I completely switched from listening to music to affirmations for the entire day. Even when I went to bed at night, I listened to a subliminal. I didn't listen to it throughout the night because, girl, I need to sleep, and that probably would not help me. Like, I was trying to fall asleep to it, just wasn't for me, but I'm sure for some people it might work well. And I kid you not, I woke up the next day and certain words of affirmation just kept popping into my mind that seemed random until I realized, oh yeah, I spent the entire day yesterday listening to these types of affirmations. And what happened was, it's not necessarily about these words just popping up into your head. It's about what your brain decides to do with those words that pop up into your head. What I mean by that is that I started to act out these things. I'm gonna put this same exact concealer on the parts that I want to highlight, and you guys will see what parts those are. So they started to, you know, kind of alter the way I started to act. What I mean by that is, like, for example, a lot of affirmations would have stuff like, I now have the dream body that I've always wanted. I now am, my skin is clear, glowy, and supple. And throughout the day, I would be thinking about these things, and I would be like, okay, what are things that would make my skin even more healthy and supple? What are things that will make my body even more of the body that I want? What are some things that will help me smell amazing and radiate a certain light about myself? And I started naturally starting to do those things more so than I did before. And I'm the type of person, again, where I'm always like pretty self-motivated. I don't consider myself as a person who needs to be told certain affirmations or like needs to tell myself certain things, because I'm pretty self-determined. I have always been that way, and I always will be. But when I tell you guys, these affirmations just pushed that determination and drive to a whole different level, it truly did. And I think the reason that it did that is because I was telling myself, you are this person. So if you don't take these actions to remain in this element, then like there's not even an option, because this is the person that you are. There's not an option to not do these things. As you guys can tell, I'm literally just blending this in. I don't really like to put too much concealer. I like to put 2 layers though, which you guys will see me do in a minute, but I don't like to do too much concealer just in general. I don't like to cake it up or anything like that. And then I'm just blending it in. And I like to blend it into like my face shape, if that makes sense. So I kind of just let the beauty blender hit the spots in my face that it just naturally hits. So for example, because of these affirmations that have to do with having the dream body that I've always wanted, I thought before these affirmations that I already have the body that I've always wanted. And I do. I thank God I'm blessed, you know, and it's kind of a blessing and a curse, but I do have a fast metabolism, so I've been quite thin my whole life, you know, flat stomach, I'm tall, I have a small rib cage, and this is not to toot my own horn, okay, it's literally just the truth. However, I have always wanted more glutes. I have wanted to build a little bit more muscle on my glutes, so, and I didn't, for some reason, before I started listening to affirmations, this wasn't even a thought that popped into my mind. It's almost like affirmations kind of make you realize that, wait a minute, there's more. Like, whatever I want, I actually can get. I just have to actually put my mind to it. And there's nothing more helpful than having a constant reminder in the background playing, going, girl, you got some certain goals you got to achieve. Like, you have to take certain actions. You have to build certain habits. And I would say that is what has helped me. Affirmations have helped me build certain habits to build and create a certain life. I'm just going to use a little bit of this LA Pro HD high definition concealer, obviously the GOAT of concealers, and this is in the shade Creamy Beige. I'm just going to use a little bit of this on the tip of my nose again and the inner corner of my eyes.
Like so. Like so.
I like to blend it in immediately, except for my nose. I like to let that sit in just a little bit, because under my eye, I put so little that, like, if it sits too long, it will definitely, like, not move. Just to brighten up my under eye just that much more. And there we go. Look at that, like, just the lift. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's perfect. And then when I put powder, it'll look a little bit more blended. And then I'm also gonna do some contour here in a second. I'm so shocked, like this tube top is holding itself up. But you know, I think the reason why I honestly wish I started doing affirmations a lot sooner than I did, because the results I have seen in the past week are insane. Like, genuinely. And it's not like some magical process. It really isn't. Like, you have to put in the work to be able to see these results, which is what I think a lot of people are kind of misleading a lot of people to when it comes to the self-help community. Like, they kind of make it seem like it's this magical process. It kind of is, because like, it's crazy how if you change your mindset, how much progress you can make. But it's more than that. It's definitely, you have to put some grit. I don't know why I did that, girl. I have never done that a day in my life. It's because I'm talking and I'm really into what I'm talking about. But anyways, I'm gonna blend in my nose highlight with this same brush that I used to blend in my eyebrows. And it's okay if it's a little bit wide, because I'm gonna go in and contour a little bit too. And I'm gonna use a powder contour. I've been like switching between cream contour and powder contour, but powder seems to be my shit when it comes to contour. And then I'm just gonna like pat it in just a little bit more with my beauty blender, just to make sure it's really blended in there. And then I'm just going to I don't know, guys, I'm stressed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use this LA HD powder. I am going to apply it though with a brush, because this thing, if you're not careful with it, it could be a little bit too white. Pat this in just a little bit, because the last time I used this, it was a little bit too white for my liking. Okay, that's not too bad. All right. Yeah, this powder is amazing, but like, if you're not careful, girl, especially if you have dark skin, it can look a little scary. There we go. That's not bad at all. And I'm just gonna put this on the parts that I highlighted. I don't like to put it on, like, I don't like to put all over powder on my face, just because I like to look a little glossy, you know. I think it looks a little bit more natural. And then I just do it in like my T-zone. Even if I don't put makeup here necessarily, I still put it in my T-zone, just because it just makes my brows look a lot more faded, and my T-zone tends to get really oily, and it just like defines your face just a little bit more, just like so. And then I'm just gonna brush it off. I don't like to bake too heavy either. Ooh, wow, just brushed my eyeball. And then I'm also gonna do my chin, and I also do around my mouth, because it likes to crease and I like to get smile lines. So bam. But yeah, the results I've been seeing are crazy, and it's not like some magical thing. It's because I've been acting as the person that I've been telling myself that I am. So I've been going to the gym, and I'm like, I'm not going to the gym. And the thing is I'm not just going to the gym. Like, I'm not. I know a lot of people who are like, oh my god, I'm going to the gym, and they're going to the gym for sure. But there's two types of going to the gym. There's going to the gym and putting in work, and there's going to the gym. But I used to go to the gym and do, you know, here and there and stuff, you know, to keep myself busy. But ever since I've been listening to affirmations, girl, I'm like going there with a mission. Like, every time I go, I'm like, I'm gonna do this, that, and third. I'm not leaving until my legs are wobbly, okay? And I have been seeing gains already. Like, people in my life have been telling me, girl, what are you doing? And obviously this has something to do with genetics, because these African genes, okay, our muscles are very, very easy to grow, if that makes sense, for the most part. But yeah, so I've been, you know, seeing a lot of gains, more gains than I've ever seen, and since I've had a personal trainer, to be honest, because I did have a personal trainer for a while, and they were pretty good, but you know, it's obviously expensive. I'm gonna use this shade right here. No, I'm not. I'm gonna use this shade right here. What is this? Techno from oh, no. Pollen season ain't playing around. Whew, we're back in business. All right. That was intense. So okay, when it comes to nose contour, I used to try to like pinch my nose in a little bit more, do this, do that. But the best way I have found to contour my nose is to basically just follow the already existing lines in my nose, if that makes sense. And not like pinch it in too much. At least for me personally, I think that's the best way to contour my nose that I've found. And I don't use too much powder. I just kind of like build it up gradually, like so. And I use a very small amount. Like I rarely go in twice. I kind of just go in once and that's it. And I do like across the top of my nose too, like that. And then I kind of connect the bottom and the top part, like so. Now I'm gonna use this brush. It looks a little big, which it is, but if you use it properly, girl, you should be fine. Yeah, and I try not to do too much of this either, but I like to keep it at that. But honestly, guys, not even just with my gym gains, but even just with my skin, with eating healthier, being more frugal, like I have been moving like a wealthy person moves, like, or someone who wants to be wealthy. I've been able to recognize more of the position that I'm in life and why and how I am not in the place in my life where I want to be yet. So as you guys can see, I take the same shade and kind of put it on my lid just a little bit, just to like mattify it just a little bit, because you know we don't want creasing. I'm gonna use this shade right here, I think. Yes, I'm gonna use that shade. It looks very bright, but I just use the smallest amount. Like just tap the brush on it. Just, you know, tap, tap, tap. Okay. See that? Not too much. Not too much. I'll also link some of the affirmations below that I've been using. And it's not just about listening to affirmations for me. It's like actively telling myself these affirmations. And it's also changed the way that it's changed my inner dialogue. Now, instead of like telling myself maybe more negative things or maybe affirming certain negative things, I've like slowly but surely started to affirm more positive and more reassuring things to myself. And now I think I'm going to use the shade Mushroom to do a little bit of highlight on my nose. And I'm going to put it literally smack dab in the center of my nose contour, because that's literally what works best for my nose. It always comes out flawless when I do it like that. And I'm just using this brush, this like flat-ish circular like flat brush. And I just put it like on the tip of my nose and on the bridge of my nose. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on the inner corners of my eyes, not too much, because it tends to irritate my eyes. And then also when I put on eyeliner, if I put on too much, it just doesn't work properly. And then with my finger, I'm just going to rub my a little bit of that on there and just rub it on my cheekbone, just like that. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. There we go. Alright, so that's basically my base done. I am going to spray and set it before I do my eyes and my lips with the e.l.f. Mist and Set. Makeup Mist and Set. So, no, affirmations are not like a magical potion to just like fix your life. But they are something that helps change the way you approach life and the way you approach certain things and the way your mindset works. Alright, y'all gonna have to give me a second for this one, but for eyeliner, I don't really like to put too much anymore. I used to go pretty crazy with the eyeliner, I'm not gonna lie. Just like that. And then I also take this opportunity to kind of just blend in any creasing that's starting to happen. Usually when I do that very early on, it doesn't really go anywhere. You see? very minimal. When I do put on my lashes, I'm probably gonna do that off camera and then I'll come back to you guys, but I just put on like the slightest amount of mascara just to create like a barrier or like a placing point for my lashes, if that makes sense. Because my lashes are very fine, so I need a little bit more thickness to it before I put on my lashes. And then I'm gonna put a little bit on my bottom lashes too. Not too much because I don't like a real heavy bottom lash look anymore. I used to love caking up the mascara on my bottom lashes, but not so much anymore. So I'm gonna use the same black liner, I know, black liner for my lips. The reason why is because I'm dark skinned and brown lip liner translates a lot differently on brown, like dark skin. So black seems to be the best color for my lips. So I do start pretty high up because there's like 2 layers to my lips, if that makes sense. Like where my actual like bump ends is right here. So I do it right there, if that makes sense.
It's not that I don't want you here. It's something about the way you stare into my eyes. I know that I don't make things clear. I fall for you every time I try to resist. We can get away. Chase beach views in the day.
Cute. And I always make sure to go into my corners because it's very easy to forget to do that. There we go. Okay, it looks a little crazy right now. A little crazy right now. But I'm gonna go put on some of the Rare Beauty lip oil. I'll show you which one I used in a second, and then I'm gonna put on my lashes, and then I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look. Okay, you guys, this is the final look. So I did use the Rare Beauty lip oil, and I don't want to say too much about this yet because I am going to have a completely separate video where I talk about that a little bit more. But I do want to just put a little bit of glossy gloss because I love, like, girl, that gloss ain't good. I need a little bit more shine, okay? I'm a glossy girl, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of glossy gloss on top of all that. And this gloss is just from the beauty supply store. I promise you, the beauty supply store got all the best glosses you'll ever need, okay? Any black girl or any girl at that would know that, but especially the sisters would know that the beauty supply store be on game. So this is the final look. Yes, affirmations have changed my life. Girl, I'm just kidding. I did. Affirmations just helped me realize what it is that I want and helped change my mindset to be able to get there. I think that's the honest truth about affirmations, and there are a lot of creators who are very honest about that, but there are some that aren't. So just keep that in mind. But I do highly recommend you guys go check out some affirmations. I will link some in the bio down below that I've been really loving lately. Even high frequency waves and things of the sort have really been helping. Journal prompts and stuff, I've been doing a couple of those on my Boss Girlified TikTok account. You guys should definitely go check those out. And yeah, anyways guys, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to show some love, and I will see you guys on another video soon. The Boss B is signing out.
Now I think I don't need